This projected demonstration will show some of the issues that are known with the automatic data retrieval systems built into Projector, those systems that are built as a convenience to create some default values in your calculations before you've got some observed data. What I'll do is I'll create an extra project inside of a stream bank collection to illustrate when the automatic data retrieval for either climate correction factors or for soil attribute values, when they could go awry depending on the data sources. So I'll quickly define a stream bank erosion project on the Fitzroy River and give this a title to ensure that our project details section is complete. Now when I move to survey, I'm going to do the recent period method, and when I update the start year for my recent period method, we'll see that the silo rainfall climate correction factor will get calculated down here, which is fine. And in fact, in this instance, it's going to work for me and I get a value returned because the call to the silo data service has worked correctly. But if we look at the silo data service, there is actually a warning there that at different times that service won't be available and we would end up with a 0 value here, and that would be labeled with a red color to indicate something went wrong. To indicate what that looks like, I'll come now to the retrieval of soil attribute layers here, bulk density, and you can see I've got a 0 value for the bulk density, indicating something went wrong with the retrieval of the bulk density data value from the Soil and Landscape Grid of Australia data service. The ramifications of that, if I don't override that with my own manual data attribute, well, if we go and look at what the calculated sediment savings are, we'll find we end up with a 0 fine sediment saving because that one data value is required to complete the calculation of the eroded soil mass. And here's the reason why. If we look at the bulk density layer, there are obvious gaps in that coverage where there are large bodies of water, like where a river exists. So it's reasonable to expect no data there. We've substituted in the 0 value to make this obvious to you. And now we'd look at one potential solution for that. There's the 0 value that we've substituted in for you. You could override that with a manual value, but to show that the API calls or the data retrieval calls do in fact return values when the spatial analysis allows it to, I'll come and quickly move this representation of my stream bank erosion project ever so slightly, which changes the latitude and longitude that is sent to the soil data service to return a value. And if I go and look at my survey now and go to the appropriate tab, we can see that the automatic retrieval there of a bulk density value has worked, which is great. But the other option would have been to override with a manual value, and we see we also now have a fine sediment saving calculated. So that's a couple of the issues to look out for with the automatic data retrieval, and be aware you might need to override manually at some times.